Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Live from Yellowstone, right outside of Yellowstone Park. It is 10 o'clock at night, and it's exactly 7:10 a.m. in Eretz Yisrael. So I'm live, Shabbat live. It might be one of the first times that I'm in Chutz La'aretz and broadcasting live. Shalom Aleichem to all the Chaver in the Beis Medrash. In the Fleis HaBayir, it's really, really beautiful. It's very different than the Alps, very, very beautiful, and some things are even nicer than the Alps, believe it or not. I want to share with you a couple of things. I don't think, this is a picture that I took. It looks literally, the one on the right, it looks literally like a postcard almost, but here, Yellowstone, the Fleis HaBayir. That waterfall at the end, it looks fake. It's massive. I'll show you a little bit more later. Oh, here. This is called the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone. Beautiful, should be beautiful. Oh, what's this? Oh, I have to go above people. There's a lot of people. Beautiful. Okay, so the way it works is anybody that wants to try it out, it's very, very kedai. It only costs like $35 to get into the park, and if you have a card, one of these things, it doesn't cost any money. My son-in-law has a card going to all the parks. It costs $80 for all the parks, as many times as you want. So, I'll take a little bit of that. That's gishmak, yeah. There was literally below Guzma hundreds of cars trying to get into the gate. It takes a long time to get in, over a half hour of just getting in, 4 lanes getting in. And once you're in there, there's just massive roads that in a figure 8, and there's different stops. And you go at the really important places, the ones that are most popular, there are a lot of people. But still, you get in every place you get to see, you get to enjoy, and it's unbelievable. I'm not going to go through here. This is a sighting. To see a bison is very chashiv, but to see one right in front of your car like we were zoicha, this is very, very chashiv. You see people with binoculars and they see a bison hundreds and hundreds of meters away, and this is very, very important. I'm happy. I put this email in 3-4 days ago, anticipating this, but you know what? I didn't put in any emails today because I figured there's a lot of videos, but this is very chashuv. Dear Rebelli, on July 30th, I will reach my 1,000th day of learning the daf. That's incredible. I first wrote to you under the subject line, Apikoiris learning the daf. That was in the aftermath of October 7th. I remember that email very, very, very clearly. A terrible time for Am Yisrael in a period of deep personal struggle I needed real help to get through. The daf became my anchor. It kept me grounded and moving forward one day and one page at a time. I learn with you every day, usually while driving my daughter to school or at the gym, and when a day gets away from me, I catch up on the long drives to my children's soccer games. Since that first email, I've also finished my first year of smicha through Hilchos Taruvas, and now into Hilchos Ma'achol Yakum, beginning with Pasakum. Still a very long way to go. But when I think about the person who wrote to you as an apikoiris learning the daf, I'm grateful for how far this has carried me. Day 1 was Baba Kamed Abayz. Day 1000 is Chullin, Daf Tzadik Aleph, where we discuss Yaakov alone through the night, and the morning after, how he walks out of it with a limp and a new name. I did not plan it that way. Chazal count Shini Hashem among the things that tear up a decree. Mine took 1,000 days instead of 1 night, but I don't call myself an apikoros anymore. Thank you for what you give to Klal Yisrael. What you have built reaches people in ways you may never know, and I'm grateful to be one of them. With tremendous appreciation, Avi Wapniak, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Wow. Hatzlach Avi, I love you. 1,000 daf. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Psh. That's one for the books. Mark Ashkenazi, do me a favor. Send that email immediately to Nachman Seltzer. He has to put it in his book.
Good morning, Rabbi Say.
Baik Fachai, Rabbi Yisai, Baik Fachai. This is also beautiful.
This doesn't happen every day. Rabbi Checkenau drives by me because he saw the MDY stickers in the back. He shows me that he's in the middle of the shiur, and I show him mine too. We're both in the middle of today's shiur. This doesn't happen every day. Oh, and the sticker in the back, right? Can you see it? Yeah, I have one too. There it is. Wow. What a family. L'chaim.
Two people driving next to each other, both doing the daf during the drive. I'm thinking now about this, the email, Avi, 1,000 daf, Apikoros. When I first read it, nothing, didn't do anything. I said, okay, I got it, it's beautiful, 1,000 daf, and I have to, Apikoros. It hit me now, it just hit me. Through the daf. Unbelievable, unbelievable. Okay, I asked for people to send in pictures of Bein Hazmanim, and people really sent in, a lot of people sent in. I'm going to go through them quickly. Yeshayahu Hamburger is taking advantage of his time. Miromei Sukkot Hamatzil Brachfeld. He's a lifeguard in Brachfeld. This is Piggy Sherman. He runs the Telstone satellite location. Here he is in France somewhere. The famous Tzvi Kagan using flight time to Chazer, the Daf. And this is Tzion Pinto. Ashrecha shenitfasto b'divrei Torah. And over here he says, okay, this is more for the Hebrew, to make up, not to make up Daf, to skip forward, it really works. Here's the famous Itzik Leibovitz on a... Okay, this is in Hebrew, so we'll skip this for now. This is the famous Yisrael Lichter in the Alps, also in Austria. Nathanael Rottenberg, was caught in a moment of Kedusha. Laz Arak, where's that? In France or somewhere? I don't know. This is Rabbi Geffen, who travels with the Prime Minister, with Bibi. And here he is, official guest house of the President of the United States, in the Blair House. He's a big part of the Hebrew shiur. He comes every single night. As I said yesterday, he collects all the Gemaras afterwards. Rabbi Yisai, the official edition of the White Shas, the Masechta Zevin Yal Shulov Perik Shvi, dedicated by the Benedict family. Daf Tzadik Aleph, Rabbi Yisai, 90 daf into Chullin. Arnov, Leili Nishma Shmuel Ben Yafa Koyen, David Salomon, the Masechta is dedicated in memory of Avimoy Reb Shmuel Baruch Ben Reb Chaim Tzvi Doizer Levracha, copier. The Palestine Family Foundation, May our Libna Torah, during the Bein Hazmanim, bring us close to the Megul of a Simcha. Anonymous, Hatzlacha Baruch Zivigashmis, and thank you to Shibeni. Anonymous for complete Refuah Shleima and Arichas Yomim to Leah Bas Esther, Chaim and Leah Levi, in honor of the MDY family. Anonymous for my birthday and as chus for Hatzlacha of my family, Bruchni and Begashmi. Ari Simon, the Refuah Shleima of Imari Baruch Miriam. The Tzvi's Refuah Shleima to Rivka Naomi Bas Elisha Batya. The Muncie MDY firefighters, Linishmas, our unforgettable chief Chaim Gavriel Ben Aryeh Yoel Jacobson. Zechrona Levracha. The Spanish shiur sponsors Refuah Shleima to our dear friend of the shiur, Bespanyol. Nobody gave me an update. Daily sponsors, Anonymous, Refuah Shleima, Esther Malka Bas Rum and Rivka. We thank Hashem for successful surgery. Adina Fegelstein, Refuah Shleima to Rachel Henyo Bas Menucha, Anonymous as a schools for Refuah Shleima, for Zessel Bas Toba, who's having surgery today. Refuah Shleima. A mom is crying away over here. I tell people a lot of times they say, MDY, I say, look, it's, in my opinion, the largest kiruv organization today, and that was a good example of one. Took him 1,000 days. Monthly, Kinnovation says Chus Vakiv Simcha Ben Fega, and Rivka Yudis Bas Yavachaya, and our kids too. Monthly, MDY Art, Lefur Shlema Mordechai Ben Esther, Lefur Sayel Daniel Zeb Ben Ayel Esther. What is das? Oh, biggest Mazel Tov to Rabbi Tzik Leibovitz, the one who's holding on. Holodat HaNeched, B'shat Toiva Mitzlachas. החברים מנקודת הצפייה. Aha. Psh, that's a long stay over there. Unbelievable. Wow. Okay. Not a joke, you're saying. Mamish, not a joke. One of my chaverim in the hospital. Okay. Rabbi Isai, it's interesting because we learned the machlokes between Chachamim and Rabbi Yehuda is the Gid HaNasha on one side of the animal or two sides. I was just thinking that in the last few dapim, and even tomorrow I believe, the daf is one half regular Gemara, the other half Agadata. We had that yesterday, we had the day before. It's 1-on-1. It seems like the Gemara is going with Rabbi Yehuda. It's only on one side. So today we're going to go do an Amid of Gemara of a Sugya. And then we have the famous Gemaras that we all learned when we were children in school, that Yaakov Avinu put his head down, and then the stones had a fight, and the ladder, the Chalam, and many other things. So we're holding in the top of Daf Tzadik Aleph, 90 Daf into Chullin. So yesterday we brought down the Mishnah in Pesachim that counts the different things that you have to burn on the 16th day of Nisan. Noisar, leftover meat that from a carbon that you're only allowed to eat a certain amount of time. The leftover of the carbon Pesach, you're only allowed to eat a certain amount of time. So on the 16th, you burn whatever's left over. And then it says Gid. Gid HaNasha. Now, is the Gid something edible or not edible? So that was the discussion. Why does it have to bring Gid as a separate entity? Rav Ashi Omar, and that's all the way on the top. We're talking about the fat of the Gid. The fat of the Gid, maybe you can see it in the picture before. There's different fats over there. It's maybe behind it, like right over there. You see that bubble right there, above the string. So there's fat, and the sanya shamnei mutter. You're allowed to eat it. Oh, so once you're allowed to eat it, it becomes food. Once it becomes food and you don't eat it, you have to burn it. But Klal Yisrael doesn't eat it. They're machmer. Shavnei mutter. Yisrael gdoshim nagu bo yisur. So that's a chiddush. The reason why it's left over is because we made a chumrah on ourselves, but it's still food. It's still considered part of the carbon. It has to be burnt. So it's in a category of itself, and that's why it's brought down by itself. Yisrael gdoshim nagu bo yisur. Gedusha is to separate yourself, to withstain, what's the word I'm looking for? No, not sustain. Oh, he knows it. Abstain. Okay, abstain. Thank you. Abstain from things that are mutter. That's kedusha. And Yisrael gdoshim nagu bo yisur. Ravina Amar, something similar. Again, what's the question? Why does it say in the Mishnah Gid and regular meat? There are two. Oh, here we go. We have two of them. Let me show you over here. No tissues here. It's not the base of English. Okay. It's just tears coming through. Say there. So you have the Gid HaPnimi and the Gid HaChitzoni. So Pnimi, really, Rashi says the Pnimi means, if you're looking at the two thighs, they're inside, they're facing each other. And chitzon, so chitzon, as you see over here, is the outer one. The machlokes is exactly where it is. The Ashkenazim say one way, Teimanim say another way. A kol panim, the chitzon is only midrabanan. There's two gidim. There's two sinews. Pnimi samoch letzim asur. The inner one is the one that's asur midori raisa v'chayav v'malav, and you get malchus if you eat it. Chitzon samoch lebasur asur v'chayav v'malav. The outer one that's next to the meat is asur, only midrabanan. V'chayav v'malav, you don't get malchus. Oh, so memela, if you don't eat it because the rabbanan said don't eat it, so you don't eat it. So now it's required to burn it because midoraisa you're allowed to eat it. Midoraisa it is food, so maybe you have to burn it. So it's a category in itself. Toshma ochal mizeh kezayis mizeh kezayis. So now the question is, did Rabbi Yehuda prove min Torah that the one gid that you're not allowed to eat is the right side, or it was more of a suffix? So it says the Gemara Toshma ochal mizeh kezayis mizeh kezayis. There are two times that he ate a kazayis with two different edim, two different animals. So you get 80 malchus. It's two separate malchus. Ocha mezek kazayis, soifeg es harabayim. So says the Gemara, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Eino Yisofeg El Harabayim. You don't get 80, you get 40. If Rabbi Yehuda already figured out that it's only the right side, Shapir, everything works out great. Elo Yamris Sapukim Sapkele, Havila Asra Sofek, Vishamin the Rabbi Yehuda, Damasra Sofek, Lishmas Ra. If Rabbi Yehuda wasn't certain which side, how could you give him malchus at all? By how do you give malchus? You have to warn him, but you can't warn him because you don't know what side is aser. You can't warn him on the right side because maybe the right side is mutter. You can't warn him on the left side because maybe the left side is mutter. So that would be asra safek. And Rabbi Yehuda holds on asra safek when you have a doubt on the warning, you don't give the guy malchus. So you shouldn't give him 40. The sanya. So this is a sugi that we had. The sanya hika azeh v'chazar. V'hika es zeh. Oh, shkoyach. Who told you? Mark? Thank you. It's not bakavedik for the shir. Now, it's just tears. Zog the Gemara. So remember that Maisa here. Let me show you the video and you'll remember everything. If a person has a doubt who his father is, why? Because his mother got married within 3 months of a divorce.
This doesn't look like me.
This doesn't look like me.
I'm gonna beat my fathers.
Don't do it! You will be punished!
I don't care. I'm going to beat them again.
You will be punished!
Vasachas. I want my mama.
I want mommy! I want mommy! I want mommy!
I gotta show this to my grandchildren. They came this morning, they said, Zaidi shows some funny videos. That's a good one for them. Okay. Bezer Hashem. Oh, maybe no. Maybe I'll teach them to hit their parents. Okay. So says the Gemara, he hit one father and then he hit the other suffix father. Again, he doesn't know which one is his father, the one on the right, the one on the left. He cursed the one on the right, then he cursed the one on the left. Or he hit them both in one shot. Or he cursed both of them in one curse. Chayiv, then he's chayiv. The only time you're chayiv if it happened in the one shot case. But the first case where he hit one, then he hit the other, Potter. Why does Rabbi Yehuda say Potter? It's Asra Safek, because the Eidim cannot warn him on either one of the fathers. They're not sure which one it is. Therefore, it's Asra Safek. It's a warning that comes with doubt. Potter. So you see, the Rabbi Yehuda holds Asra Safek Potter. Says the Gemara, Haitana Savala Ki Idach Tana the Rabbi Yehuda. There's a machlokes what Rabbi Yehuda holds. He holds like the other one that says Dam Asra Safek Shma Asra. In fact, I can prove to you that there's another Tana that holds in Rabbi Yehuda that a doubt is a good Asra. Where do I see this? Because it says the you're not allowed to leave over any meat till the morning, and if you do, what happens? It says that you should burn it. It's like a lavanite, like I say. It comes. There's a tikkun. If you leave the meat over, what do? You burn it. Loimar, Shein Loikin Olav. You don't get. Because of the Nasei Achaloisa said Loimar, Shein Loikin Olav. You don't get the Malchus. Divri Rabbi Yehuda. Okay, but without this, Rabbi Yehuda would hold that you do get Malchus. But how can you get Malchus? This is considered a Hasra Safek. Why? Because when are they warning him? We went through this. If they warn him, the Hasra always has to be like Toich Kedei Dibur, within a few moments of when the person does the Aveira. So if they warn him at 9 o'clock at night, he can say, "Listen, I am not doing it now. You only get the Isser, you only get the Avera when it turns daytime. So if you warn him at 9 o'clock at night, it's not good. 10 o'clock, not good. 11, no good. So a moment before the sun comes out, that's too late. 2 moments before, too early. The kids are, every time that they warn, it's going to be a hasra of Safek. Not a good hasra. Yet, Rabbi Yehuda holds that it would work. Why? Because hasra Safek, Shema hasra, you could get malchus in that. The only reason why you don't get malchus in this case of Noisar is because we have a special pasuk. But without the pasuk, you'd say he does get it, even though it's hasra Safek. Rabbi Yaakov argues, that's not the reason. Okay, because what's noiser? Noiser means I did not finish my steak. For not finishing a steak, you don't get malchus. For eating a steak that's treif, you get malchus. But not eating something that's not doing an action, not taking action, for that you don't get malchus. Malchus you only get for something that involved an action, not a lack of action. I just realized yesterday, just to tell the Olam, one of my favorite psukim that was sold in the entire Sefer Torah was yesterday. What's the pasuk? Because we just learned in the sugya, va'anoichi afar ve'efer. I'm dirt and ashes. Who bought the pasuk? Shmulik Wasserman, the one that I was doing at the shir in his house in Lakewood. Givaldik Echab. I want the pasuk of va'anoichi afar ve'efer. I am an onav, and if I'm not, I will be one. It's as good to be an onav. Tashma. So over here, this is the story I guess before maybe it wasn't. Ochal shnei gidim. Now I'm going to get a voice note from Moshe from Lakewood. Ochal shnei gidim mishtei yireichos mishtei behemois soifig shmoinim. He ate 2 separate gidim from 2 separate thighs of 2 separate animals. You get 80. You only get 40. Obviously, he ate the one that's osur from each animal. Only according to Rabbi Yehuda do you need 2 animals, because according to Chachamim, if you eat 2 gidim from the same animal, you will also be chayiv 2. One from the first one, you get a hasra on that one, you get a hasra on the second one, you get 2 malchus. But for Itzrich, for Rabbi Yehuda, you need 2 separate animals, because according to Rabbi Yehuda, you only chayiv on one side of the animal. And we decided it's the right side. So it says the Gemara, Shema Mino, Mifshat Pshitale. Obviously he decided it's the right side, because otherwise he wouldn't give him any malchus, Rabbi Yehuda. Why would Rabbi Yehuda give malchus if I don't know what side? He only ate 2 lefts. Or if he ate 2 rights, maybe that's not the one that's awesome. The fact that he says that you get malchus, you get a 40, is a raya that he already determined which side it is. It's the right side, and that's why I'm giving him malchus 40. So we have to understand, how come only 40? Why doesn't he get 80? Shema Mino. So it's a good raya that Rabbi Yehuda decided it's not a suffix, it's a vadai, and he learned it from the Torah. Asking Rabbi Shidalei, am I serving our boy? Why does he only get 40? He should get 80. Look, these shmoinim. Says Gemara, you're right. Each gid had less than a kazayis. If you eat a full gid, then it's a beria. It's a bria. And on a bria, let's say you eat an ant that's less than a kazayis, you chayev. Why? Because it's a full creature. So to the gid anosh, it's a full creature, you get malchus on eating the full gid anosh. Rabbi Yehuda says, no, you don't get malchus on eating a full gid anosha if it's less than a kazayis. So therefore, you have to take a half a kazayis, let's say, from animal 1, and a half a kazayis from animal 2, and together you have a full kazayis, and that's why you get 40. If each animal had a full kazayis, if each animal, he ate the right gid, the full kazayis, according to Rabbi Yehuda, B'chayev 80 malchus. But over here we're talking about a combination. But according to Chachamim, you'd get 80 malchus even though each one is less than a kazayis. Why? Because it's a full birya. Says the Gemara, we're almost by that guy that Rabbi said. V'taimamai. Why does Rabbi Yehuda say it's the right gid, not the left? Zog the Gemara. Omar Rav Omakro, ha-yorech, with the hey idea, ha-miyumenes shebe-yorech, the righter one of the thigh. I have to tell you that it's the gid that is also from top to bottom, meaning the gid, ha-pnimi, not the chitzoin. La-fuke chitzoin deloy. Rabbi Shua ben Levi Omar Omakro, bi-ofko imoi. So take a look at this. Here's a human gid hanosha. And this is the problem. This is what happened to Yaakov Avinu. The Malach pulled out his gid. Painful stuff. So here's the thing. According to Shua ben Levi, which we're learning right now, they were struggling. They were wrestling each other. When you wrestle, you grab the other person around, and the Malach's right hand reached across and grabbed Yaakov Avinu's right thigh, not left, right. He went all the way around, as you see in this picture. Like a person hugging his friend, And his hand comes all the way around and grabs the right spoon, the right thigh. The malach came to him as if he was a goy. The Omar Mar Yisrael shenitpaloi goy baderech. If a goy comes to you on the way, you got to be careful, because the goy has a weapon. Now you want to, with your dominant hand, the right hand, you want to be able to protect yourself. Toifle limino. What do? You make sure that the goy goes to your right side. Take a look. Here's the guy on the right. He pulls out a sword. And Memela, the Malach, was on his right side, because Yaakov Avinu is makpid on this Gemara, that the guy should be on his right. And when he attacked him, he attacked his right thigh. Rav Shmuel bar Achok Hamei the Rav Popim Shmei the Rava bar Ula Omar Ketamud Chacham in Edemiloi. The Malach came as if he was a Talmud Chacham, and a Talmud Chacham you also put on the right side. Rabbi Isai, sometimes the Yetzer Hara, he shows up like a goy. Come, let's do something bad. Let's do an Aveira. But sometimes he comes like a Talmud Chacham. Talmud Chacham is, come, let's learn 7 daf today. Let's learn all day long. Let's not sleep. Let's not eat. Let's learn. That's also a bad thing, because at the end of the day, you're going to burn out. Sometimes he comes tricky. He's a Talmud Chacham. He gives you advice as a tzaddik. That's also dangerous. He comes in all different forms. The bottom line is, he's trying to trip you up. Rav Shmuel bar Achai says, "Ki Talmud Chacham nidmiloi." Shmuel Achmeiri says, no, like a goy. But it's all the same person. It's all the same malach. So here's like a Talmud Chacham. You put him on your right side. A Talmud Chacham is on the right. And finally, we have a pshat. Oh, the Omar Mar HaMa'alech Limin Rabbi Harei Zabur. If you're to the right of your Rebbe, you are an Amoritz. Let the Rebbe be on the right. V'Rabbanon, the final pshat is Machoirei. Also, he came, he snuck up, the Malach came from behind. V'Nashye b'Tarvayu, in fact, he got him on both. And that's why we're not allowed to eat both sides of the Gid HaNasha. Givaldik. Beautiful stuff. V'Rabbanon, 12 lines from the bottom. V'Rabbanon hai be'avkoi imoy, my darshavei. He's learning the first pshat, be'avkoi imoy, like Yeshua ben Levi, that they were struggling, they were wrestling, but the Rabbanon say they weren't wrestling, it came from behind. My darshavei. Yeshua ben Levi. I'm going to go with Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, a different one. Don't Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, melamed sheheloi avak margeloisa matkise akavod. B'yavka is not a lashon of struggle, of wrestling. B'yavka is a lashon of avak, of dust. That the dust went all the way up to the kisei hakavod. Ksiv hacha b'yavka imoy, ksiv hasam v'anan avak raglov. There was a cloud of dust from his feet. V'amar Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, a third Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. Lama nikra shmoi gid hanasha. Why is it called gid hanoshe? It's a gid. Why hanoshe? Shenoshe mekayma v'Allah. It came out of its place and went up. They became weak. Their might became weak and became like women. What happened physically to Yaakov Avinu, that's the Gid HaNashe. V'nofal b'Yisrael is referring to Klal Yisrael, not to Yaakov Avinu. Shepashat Yisur b'chol Yisrael, that Klal Yisrael accepted the Isser of Gid HaNashe. Yosef HaTzadik said a double lashon. Utavayach tevach. You should make a meal for. You should slaughter. You shall slaughter and prepare for my brothers a meal. Paralem beis hashchita. He opened up the neck of the animal and said, "Look, we shechted." In those days, they were all goyim. Yosef HaTzadik was also a goy, right? It was before Matan Torah. So but he was makbid on shchita, and he wanted to show, hey, look, you opened it up. It's shechted. Mamish like halal today. They cut. It doesn't matter what knife, or they cut. I'm not saying that's what they did. It could be they were makbid on all the things. But in halal, they don't. They just show that it's open and good. It could be a Jew that checks it. They're also, it's good for them. Vachin, what does vachin mean? What are you preparing? You're preparing that you removed the Yosef Tzaddik, removed the Gid HaNosha for his brothers. There was Issa already back then for Bnei Noach. Oh, I want to say a Yishikoyach, Hakar Satoiv, to somebody that's been doing the shir for 2 years with us. His name is Yaakov Drieben, of Dreamin' Travel. Why Hakar Satoiv? Because I was looking to get an 8-seater. That's what we needed, an 8-seater. And he shaved off a nice amount. He has different ways, different... he's a travel agent. So he was able to get me hundreds of dollars off the thing, maybe even close to $500 off the final bill. But what happened was that I said, are you sure it's an 8-seater? And they weren't so sure, so instead of me going to the lot and checking, they said, well, we have a 12-seater. Do you want a 12-seater? So I said, yeah, it could be the 8-seater was it's a smaller, nicer car, but the 12-seater is more, it's like a bus. But now everybody gets to sit by a window and everybody spread out over there. I think it's better. For me, it worked out better. Geschmack. And it's fine, parking, all that. So no issues yet, Baruch Hashem. Zogt Sishkoyach, Rabbi Yankiv Drieben. If, stop, but it's part of the shir, Gevaldik, Yishkoyach. Vayivase Yaakov Levadoi. Here, let me show you some more videos. I got to show you. Wow. And he went limping off. What's this? Shrol Chaim Dubovik, been his manim trip from Staten Island. He's been davening since Makis Dav Beis. And he's in the Beis Medrash right now. Wow. Wow. Sorry I'm not there. Shrol Chaim Dubovik. This is also part of the pella of this place. On the one hand, you have a waterfall. The other, then you have these geysers. These, what is this called? Not a geyser. This is boiling hot. It's more than boiling hot water. Comes out of the ground non-stop, all year round, since Sheshes and Mebrachis. It smells like sulfur and like rotten eggs, basically. And my grandson was not very excited about the smell. I'm 10 feet away from this. Crazy stuff. Like buck deer with big, a lot of wildlife there. This is a similar thing, but this is mud, boiling mud. Actually, I don't know.
Really? It smells? Really? It smells?
So they have these features all over the place. Different. All of a sudden, smoke comes out of here. Water comes shooting out of the ground that we didn't see yet. That's tomorrow. This is just these hot springs. I don't know what they're called. I forgot what they're called. Okay. And this bison. Murdik should be murdik. You have to understand that this is what's chashuv about this. I didn't explain is that there's so many cars that pulled over to the side of the road to see him, and everybody stopped. You could see the traffic over here, and for some reason, we were the first car in the front. Everybody moved, made way for us.
Mostly guess what we get to see here.
A bison.
This is crazy. And we're right next to it. So we gotta be careful.
That's like that story with the bison threw a guy up in the air. So we happened to be walking here and he was sitting there. Now to understand that these guys I'm not gonna say they're rare, but when people pull over to the side of the road, when they see them hundreds of feet away, we happen to be walking right next to them. Okay. Zogt the Heilige Gemara. We're doing a bunch of Agadah now, gewaltige stuff. Omar Rabbi Yosi, Rabbi Chanino, Maidachsiv Dobar Sholach B'Yakov B'Nov Yisrael. Oh, we said this already. Vayivasi Yaakov Levadoi, Omar Rabbi Lozer Shenishtayer Al Pachim Ktanim, the famous Rashi, he quotes this Gemara that we saw in the video. That what happened? Yaakov Avinu brought his family over the river. He came back to get his Pachim Ktanim, the small vessel. Some say it had Shemen Zayis, Beis Hamikdash, whatever. Mikan Tzadikim Shechovev Aleim Amoinim Yosim Megufam. He went back because he, as the Gemara says, they're very careful with Gezel. And Memela, it's worth more, the monetary value, more than their own body. What does that mean? So the Ben Yoda right away says over here, more than tsar of the body. Not more than their body, but more than tsar, more than pain. And he brings the Gemara, the famous Gemara of Abba Chilkiah, would rather get scraped by the thorns than to have his clothing ripped. That's tsar, that's pain more than that. Why? Shem poishtim yidem begezel. They're so careful and everything comes very hard for them. And they're very careful with money that they rather have tsar than to lose that thing, whatever the pshat is. It only occurred until morning. Once Alois Shachar came, then the Malach said, okay, I gotta run. I'll see you later. This is the source, and we're going to have a bunch of different sources. This is the source of the Gemara, that a Talmid Chacham should not go out by himself at night, because Yaakov Avinu went by himself at night. That's when the mazik has permission to do damage. During the day, he doesn't. So I love this beautiful vart. Rabbi Yehuda Boyer was walking once at night by himself, and somebody said, the Rav is not makpid, that a Talmid Chacham shouldn't walk by himself. So he says, we're here in Bnei Brak. And the Mazikim in Bnei Brak hold that I'm not a Talmid Chacham. It's Mardik. The Mazikim in Bnei Brak hold I'm not a Talmid Chacham. If you understand, you understand. Who are these Mazikim? Who are these people in Bnei Brak that would harm me? These are people that hold that I'm not a Talmid Chacham. That's why they would harm me. So it's a mamad of shach. I'm not a Talmid Chacham, so they can't harm me at night. Rav Abba Barakano Amar Mahacha. Daf Tzadik Aleph Amud Beis. Hine Uzoyres Gorin Hasarim. We're talking about Boyaz, and Naomi tells Rus, go there. I'm telling you, he's not going to go home. He can't go home at night. Why can't he go home at night? Because of this, that Talmid Chacham, says Rashi, it's a gnai, it's an embarrassment for Talmid Chacham to walk home at night by himself. So he's going to sleep over there at the threshing field, whatever it's called. So Mela, she tells him, go find him over there. That Avram got up in the morning. Why not at night? Because he can't go out at night. You should see so many different sources that a Talmid Chacham should not go out by himself at night. The sun came out for him. Oh, So let's see. We have turning of the daf. Adar Global and Schus Tamati and the MDY Shidduch team may all turn the page to a new chapter soon. Shkoyach. Encore Healthcare as a Schus for Klal Yisrael. mdydaf.com/shidduch. Upload a resume and help make shidduchim happen. So I want to tell you something insane, mamish insane. Yesterday we had a little over 300 resumes or whatever it was, and 9 shidduchim read. Today, in one day, it went from 300 plus to 600 plus, because today is Tu B'Av, and it's already Tezayin B'Av, but it was Tu B'Av, and people are excited about shidduchim, and the word got around, and we doubled the resumes. That's incredible. That means there's going to be a lot more shots, and actually 3 more shidduchim were read today. You know what that means? 12 couples are going out, Be'ez Hashem. And Be'ez Hashem, this could be something. We're doing this 10 days and 600 resumes. It could only grow, it could only get more. So Mati started this initiative because he wants to help other people that are in this matzav, and Be'ez Hashem, it's helping. Can't wait to see the first couple and see Mati give them $10,000. It's going to be unbelievable, unbelievable. Spread the word. I'm telling you, spread the word. Now I know this is one of these things. I get excited in the beginning, and then it goes, and and eventually it's going to fade away. I don't know. I hope not. But so somebody has to remind me. Somebody should maybe sponsor once in a while, or remind me once in a while. So we talk about it. We give people updates. What's going on? But I'm telling you, 600 resumes. That's a lot of resumes for a startup, something that we just started 10 days ago. Incredible. It just means, because my whole fear was like, who's going to put a resume in? If you only have 2 people doing resumes, so what's the AI going to do? Where are you going to get the shidduch? But it started off nice. There's a nice momentum, and now it's even greater. And the chances of something happening now with 600 resumes becomes unbelievable. It just gets more and more. The chances become higher and higher. I want to explain, if I didn't explain. There's a lot of privacy here. Nobody sees anyone's resume. You only put in your own resume, nobody gets to see it. AI sees it. Zehu, nobody gets to see it. Once there's a shidduch that the AI decides the shidduch and the boy and the girl agree to it, then it goes to a human being, and a human being reads the shidduch, makes the phone calls and speaks to the parents, etc., or whatever they need to speak to. But there's a lot of privacy here, and the other big mila is that AI doesn't forget. And the AI is constantly churning the same shidduch. So you put in the resume, it never forgets your resume. It just keeps on going and trying to make a match and make a match. And every day, when the new resumes come in, it says, okay, is this a match for it? Is this a match? It keeps on going. Okay? Zog the Gemara. And it's free. Free. Not only free, you get paid. If you're the first one, you get paid. Zog the Gemara. Omar Rebbe Kiva. Says Rebbe Kiva, my favorite Tana. Sha'alti is Rebbe Gamliel ves Rebbe Yeshua be'idla shel imoum. We were there in the butcher shop in Imoum. Shaholchu ligach behema lemishte benoisha Rebbe Gamliel. They went to purchase an animal. They had to purchase the whole thing. We're doing a chasana for the son of Rebbe Gamliel. I want to stop here for a second. What's going on? It's not the first time in Shas that we have this exact story, that they were going to purchase an animal for the chasana of the son of Rebbe Gamliel. I believe it's the same son, because it's the same Tanoim. Different stories, different kashas. Why is it important that they went to Imoum and they were in a butcher shop? Who cares? Rebbe Kiva should say, we asked the question, why does it say this? Well, only for him, the son. Why is it important that they were in a butcher shop? So there's a Taisus in B'chairis. Wow. I didn't know that Kobe's going to do this. I threw this in. I guess he got up really early in the morning to do this. Thank you, Kobe. Oh, he just did it now, this second. Wow, okay. Says Taisus. So if you go to Krisos, you'll see it's on the bottom of the page. It's in a funny place. It's hard to find because there's Taisus on the top, and you hardly ever see a daf like this, that the Taisus is not connected, the top and the bottom. But anyway, it's on the bottom. It says Taisus, Lohidiash v'chon sha'afapish. I love this Taisus. Why? Because it's negea to people that do the daf. It's negea to ben azmanim. It's negea to today. Lohidiash v'chon sha'afapish oyu trudim hoyu oiskim b'divrei Torah. That no matter what, you're on the day of your son's chasana, you're shechting an animal, you're in a butcher shop. You have all the reasons and all the excuses not to learn Torah. So the Gemara says, no, the Gemara describes where they were. They were in a butcher shop. They were in a imum. It's the day of the wedding. But here's the question. I have question A, question B, and today we have another question to say that the daf Torah never stops. Even on difficult days, difficult situations, we learn Torah all the time. It says that the sun rose for him. As the Gemara, what it only rose for him. The sun rises for everybody. No. The sun that went down. Haba means that it went down. Where? In Beis El. Ba'avuroi, in the Makam HaMikdash. Ba'avuroi, Zorcha Ba'avuroi. That same sun that went down early came up early for him. The Chsiv, Vayitzi Yaakov meBe'er Sheva v'yelech Chorono. Chsiv, Vayivga b'mokoim. Ki motel l'chor no'amar, Efsha avarti al mokom shespal avoysev ani lo ispalalti. A little bit of a problem in the Pesukim. How does it work? He went to Charon. What exactly happened? He was already in Charon, he was already out of there, and then he was in Beis El. It doesn't add up. Charon is outside of Eretz Yisrael, Beis El in. Says Gemara, when he got to Charon, he realized, came the famous Gemara. I was in a place that my forefathers davened here, my father, my grandfather, and I didn't daven here. Oh, I just chapped. I never paid attention to this. I just paid attention now. In your schos. It only happened because he just made a decision. Kayoiv daite lemehedar. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't help you out if you don't want it, if you don't take action. You have to make a move. Once he made the decision, I'm going back, then kafza liyaro. Then he had kvitzas haderech. So in kindergarten, I was told that kvitzas haderech is, he had like a magic carpet and he was flying over. Rashi says no. Rashi says kvitzas haderech means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu took the ground and made it smaller. He shrunk the distance. That's kvitzas haderech. Kofta liyara. Miyad, and immediately Vayivgam HaMokoim, he got back there. Katzali boile mehedar. And when he davened there, he finished davening. Okay, now I want to go home. I want to go back to Chara. He's going to come to my hotel and he's going to be potter without resting. Miyad bo Hashemesh. There's a famous story, but I don't want to say it. I don't like it so much. Famous story about a famous person who had a shidduch. His shidduch happened because his wife, who then was not his wife, she was a storekeeper, and she said, "Tzadik ba lebeis meloini v'poter b'leilina." He didn't buy a melon. A whole ma'isa. I'm not into the story, so I'm not going to finish it up. Kolpanim miyad ba hashemesh. It's another source that a tzaddik should not go outside when it's dark. Ksiv vayikach mavnei hamokim. The famous story. Yaakov Avinu took the stones. Ksiv vayikach esoheven. Then he took one stone. 12 stones for the Shvatim, then it's one stone. What happened there? You see from here that they really had a bunch of stones around him, and then they became one. Why? Every one of the stones had a fight. They said, no, I want to be the stone. Even an inanimate object like a stone, fighting that Yaakov Avinu should place his head on them. Wow. 400 profiles, resumes were created just today. Not 300, 400. So we have over 700. And the ratio is 47% male, 53% female. Not bad. It's almost 50-50. So 20 shidduchim were made. 20 shidduchim, crazy. And we have 13 shadchanim that registered, and 26 additional requested to become shadchanim. So we have 13 shadchanim and 26 requests. Okay? But listen to this. The famous Ma'isa. Every school kid knows the story that the stones were fighting, and each one said, Ola yoniach tzadik ze roishoy. Then the problem still remains, no? If the tzaddik's head is only touching this part, I want the tzaddik to be touching me. I don't want to be on the side. I don't want to be on the left side. I don't want to be underneath. I want to be right there. I want Yaakov Avinu touching me. But the answer is that when you have achdus, it doesn't matter. This is the concept of the achdus. All Klal Yisrael, the 12 stones represent the 12 shvatim. They become one. One. So when you're in an army, you're going out and fighting the enemy. Yeah, maybe deep down you want to be the pilot of the F-16, the F-35. But the guy schlepping the packages in the field, he's part of it just like the pilot. There is no pilot without him, and he's not this. It's a team. It's a team effort. We have it by us also in the Shir. We have Reb Mark Ashkenazi now at 2 o'clock in the morning almost in New York. It's going to be 2 o'clock in the morning soon because we're doing another Shir. And you have Yossi Klein, you have Benny, and you have this one and that one. You have all the editors, Ariel, Kobe here. Kobe just entered this, and Ruli does that, and all these guys, and the camera guys, and team effort. So yeah, maybe they all want to be the Maggid Cheer. I don't know. I don't wish it to a lot of people, but it's one team. We're all in it doing one thing, and that's the whole Nakuda here. Yeah, you might be on the side over here, but you're part of it. You feel that you're just as important as the other guy, as the other stone that's mamish underneath Yaakov Avinu. Because when you're a team and you're working for one cause, then everybody's equal. Okay, we could take it to Klal Yisrael also. Klal Yisrael should be working together as one team. You could be oived as a chassid, and be oived as a litvak, be oived as a Sfardi. But if we're doing it with one goal, and we do it as a team, that's true achdus. He dreamt, and here's the ladder stationary in the ground. What's the width? An enormous width. The malachim are going up and down. Oilim shnayim. Oilim means two. We're going up. V'yardim shnayim. I'm not going to go into the whole riddle that I love with the trains coming towards each other, but at a certain point, you have all four malachim on the same. Oh, what is it called? On a ladder. It's not called a step. It's called whatever it's called. The step. We'll call it a step. A rung. Oh, it's called a rung. Shkoyach. Oh, so the malachim are going down. We have to finish up. It says that by the malach ugviyasa gesarshish. His body is his form is like the ocean of Sarshish. Ugmir the Tarshish trey alpha parsavi. Tarshish is 2,000 parsois. Tana oilim mustakim b'dikah shemala. They go up and they look at Yaakov Avinu, his face on the kisei hakovet. V'yordim mustakim b'dikah shemala. And they come down and they look at him down here. Both sakune. They were jealous of him. Miyad v'hine Hashem nitzav olav. And Hashem came above him. If it wasn't mefurish in the pasuk, you're not allowed to say something like this. That what? What's the pshat in the pasuk? Like a person that's like waving off the enemy. What does it mean? This land that you're laying on. What does it come to tell us? An ad. He folded up the whole Eretz Yisrael like this, put it in his hair. Look, all this. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu did that move, from then on it became easier for Klal Yisrael to conquer Eretz Yisrael. Rabboisai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.